This hand definitely belongs into the category of the craziest call down 2023. Let's get right into it.
Curtis Jackson.
Raise to 50. Oh, Bryson.
Whatever it is.
Good
clip though. Good clip.
You run games at your house?
300. Good clip, if nothing
Mariano
else.
has a lot of those.
What'd you say?
Do you run games at your house?
Yeah, all the time.
Really?
In theory.
Show.
I mean, I don't do anything.
In theory. They're like
In
imaginary
an imaginary world.
Imaginary world, yeah.
With fake money?
Right.
Money involved then.
Yeah.
It's
Exactly.
illegal to run
VR
poker
money.
games at your house.
Yeah.
It's V-Bucks.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, V-Bucks we run. I got a couple gift cards, bro. I haven't used that.
Whoa, the greens are coming out. Are they the tilted greens or the happy greens? Stay tuned to find out.
I mean, if he was trying to get value out of a good hand, he wouldn't have raised it like that. I think he's got. He's trying to get $100 from all of us with 7 deuce.
You want to play Reba? Absolutely.
I'll make it easier for you. I'm folding out a turn.
You're in turn, by the way.
Magnus Carlsen here with the 4-3 suited 3-betting. I actually don't mind it. I think perhaps he has some good instincts here that these hands perform quite well against strong ranges, especially when facing a 4-bet, 4-3 suited. I would prefer having 4-5, 6-5 suited. We want to get away from the ace kings and aces that we really need to make straights. Card room effects are important in general. As a rule of thumb, if you face a 3-bet or even 4-bet, having 4-5 suited, 3-4 suited, 6-5 suited is a lot better than, let's say, Jack-10 suited or Queen-Jack suited, 10-9 suited, because these hands do not do so well against ace-kings and ace-queens and pocket-jacks. So a lot of the cards that we need in order to make 2-pair strips and straights are taken out of the deck. If you have Queen-Jack suited or Jack-10 suited, 10-9 suited, your opponent has jacks or queens, and maybe even as a bluff, as we see here, ace-jack off, a jack is taken out of the deck. Queens are very often taken out of the deck. Even the aces are taken out of the deck that we need to make a straight with Jack-10 suited or Queen-10 suited or even 10-9 suited. And very often pocket 8s and pocket 7s are not played as 4-bets. So having those 2-over cards against, let's say, 7s or 8s, it's not really important because, as I said, pocket 8s or 7s might just call the 3-bet or fold. So very often you will see either the value hands, ace-king or ace-queen, or even some bluffs with ace-jack or ace-10 in the mix when facing a 4-bet or even 3-bets. So when you're deeper and you have 4-5 suited or 6-5 suited, it's actually pretty good to call or even float against 4-bets versus 10-9 suited or even 9-8 suited. 4-3 suited is a lot closer because now it gets closer to ace-x kind of hands, but I don't mind. And of course, we should also consider there are no pros. So of course, they're going to be doing some theoretical mistakes, but that's all right. Let's get right into the hand.
Oh, I would have yelled that true if you did it.
700.
700.
$700 bet, $700 call.
Let's continue with post-flop. I think both players played fine. I would probably just fold ace-jack off pre-flop. It's a hand that is going to be in a lot of trouble post-flop. I've definitely seen bigger puns. It's fine if ranges are really wide. We see 4-3 suited in the mix. And it's actually not that bad in these live games to be a little bit more out of line with your ace-jacks because yeah, you will see some crazy defense, right? So on the flop, I think it's fairly standard. It's a good board for the ace-jack. 4-3 suited has a clear call here from Magnus. He's still doing well against ace-kings and aces with his 5 outs. His 2 payouts shouldn't be blocked. I actually prefer having 4-3 suited over ace-3 suited here. Or sorry, ace-4 suited. Because if you hit your ace, very often it's going to be very nasty because your outs are dirty. That means that if you hit your ace, very often your opponent hits 2 pair or set as well. Ace, king, and aces. So 4-3 suited a lot better here than the ace-4 suited. Because if you hit your 3, then very often you're gonna improve to a 2 pair that is ahead now against ace, king, and aces.
We are in overtime. I hope you guys are enjoying the show on this Wednesday evening. We're back at it tomorrow, 5 p.m. Pacific time. Bart Hansen is playing 10, 20, 40 tomorrow night. And then Friday, of course, our big game. Bart will be commentating on that one. And then on Monday, DGAF and Raver Poker will be in the game for Max Payne. Hoodie Allen in the chat. What's up, Hoodie?
Cheers. To what, though?
To not losing all your money.
Yeah, let's cheers to that.
Thanks for joining us, Eric Peterson. And Josias
No, it wasn't even bad.
Braganza. Hello.
That was bad.
I gotta be honest, that one was tough.
Appreciate your support, Lee French. Get a bet here from Nick Magnus. Calling again. Stubborn and sticky.
On the turn, it gets spicy. Our opponent's second barrels. Again, we actually have a pretty good blocker where we unblock a lot of bluffs. Now we really want to think about, do we unblock his bluffs? Because if you have queens and jacks, like, you're blocking a little bit of value with a king jack or king queen, but you're also blocking a lot of bluffs. Blocking always means, all right, is it more likely or unlikely that our opponent has a bluff or value? And now, since we don't block any of the ace queens, we don't block any of the ace jacks, it's actually probably a fine call, especially environment when things are getting very, very aggressive. And we see that here. And I can imagine these games, you know, it's splashy, it's aggressive. People want to fight for pots, right? It's televised. And then you really want to think about, okay, what does my kicker look like? And what are the most likely bluffs in my opponent's range, right? It's going to be the ace queens, ace jacks. And then you need to consider that randomness in live games, that they maybe have an ace 8 off or whatever. But more likely or more often you want to unblock those bluffs. Let's move on to the river. This is where things are getting really, really spicy.
I like that. Cheers. Nobody losing no money.
That's a good one, Eric.
Go. And
Sorry about you.
no, don't worry.
Magnus with a pair of fours can beat nothing.
Yeah, my redemption arc is coming. You made him 100.
But we saw earlier on, he considered calling with king high. If Nick bets again here,
Crazy good return.
Oh, yeah. I made that on
Hey, dude, that was very close to not being a return.
can Magnus find the call?
hand away from this.
I have no read on what's going on. I have no idea. And I feel like an idiot. I've been trying to figure it out. I'm very confused.
You're going 3 streets, eh? Actually, somehow, I don't believe you at all.
Your instincts are spot
Like,
on.
there aren't a lot of hands. You have ace-king, obviously. There aren't a lot of hands that you would just go 3 streets with there. Like, I have so many of these hands that crush this board. I just don't believe you at all.
It's smart shit.
This is the problem.
The fact that Nick
I'm
just
gonna
got
look really
bluffed
stupid.
Yeah, he's like no.
has to be a factor in this hand.
Like, but I just don't believe you. I don't believe you at all.
And here, it looks really punty to call down with bottom pair. But this hand is actually not that bad. I doubt that it's solver approved, but nobody's gonna play a solver game here. And I really like Magnus' instinct. He also says, and we can listen into the his thoughts here for a little bit. He says that this is a board that smashes his range, right? He's gonna have lots of sets. He's gonna have a lot of king X hands that are still better to call than 4-3 suited, right? So whenever you think, wow, this board actually really good for me, I have a lot of value hands, you don't need to call such a hand because you're very well protected overall. You have enough hands you can call down with, and you don't need to add bottom pair into the mix. However, Magnus has some instincts here. He has a gut feeling where he doesn't believe his opponent. And when you think your opponent is over bluffing, the next step, some of the hands you want to add into your calling hands are the hands that, of course, supposed to be fold according to theory, but might still be a consideration under the premise that your opponent is bluffing too much. Then you want to pick hands that unblock those potential bluffs that your opponent can have, right? So then a 4-3 suited might be better than a second pair that has a queen or jack coming with it. So let's say Magnum has a Queen 8 suited or a Jack 9 suited, whatever, right? It's very unlikely the opponent 4-bet bluffs Queen Jack. So you're not really blocking the nuts, but it's very likely that your opponent has Ace Queen or Ace Jack. So 4-3 suited, again, doesn't block any of those bluffs. And if Magnus really has this feeling, wow, I don't believe him, and my hand actually does unblock a lot of his potential bluffs, it's a reasonable bluff catcher. Yes, he doesn't block any value, but he also, if he has Jack 9 or Queen 9, very likely on one of the streets, he would check back with King Queen or King Jack. So you're also not really blocking value, but you're also blocking a lot more bluffs. So this is a very important concept. I'm not sure how far Magnus thinks on that level, but he has those instincts, and I would not recommend this call in any live games, online games, but in these games where they invite also creators and some players or people from other industries, right? These games can get crazy. And then to mix in those calls, because I doubt, well, from my experience, people, when they play aggressive, they bluff a lot, but they might not find those thin value bets, let's say here with King Jack, value jamming on the river or going for 3 streets, because yeah, once in a while you get hero called, but Magnus gonna have sets, 2 pair straights that get there on the river, King Queens, maybe slow played Ace or Kings, right? Yes, I doubt that he will have more than 50% equity against Magnus calling range, right? When you bet with the intention of getting called by worth, a so-called value bet, you want to be at least every second time ahead. Otherwise, it's not the value bet. You want to check behind. So here, I doubt that Nick would be shoving King Queen or King Jack. And then it's very likely, and this is something that Magnus, even though he's not a poker pro, recognizes really well. I'm astonished. A lot of players study the game for years and they are not able to break down ranges, right? He knows he's wrapping a very thin range. He's not gonna have the 10-9 or 9-8 suited or Queen Jacks. He's either gonna have these Ace Queen, Ace Jack, but also, as Magnus points out, very likely Ace King, like these kind of hands, like very strong hands. And these are only very few, so it's easy to be out of line with your bluffs with Ace Queen, Ace Jack. That's a hell lot of combos. And then maybe mix in a goofy Ace 5 and maybe the 7 deuces live in these games. Your bluffing frequencies are getting out of line. And then 4-3 suited as an adjustment is actually a great call here.
Good.
Wow, what a call. What a call.
For Magnus Carlsen.
Okay.
He's locked in after the shot.
Okay.
The shot helped you.
But I got the run it twice back.
So well played by Magnus. Made some good adjustments. And I was very surprised. And let me know in the comments what you guys think about this call down. Is Magnus actually a poker pro? Is he underrated? I mean, it definitely helps to have that strategic thinking from chess, which I think he's pretty good at. So well done. And I personally love seeing that kind of content. It's actually pretty good for poker. It makes the game more popular. So I hope I get to see more of these very funky plays.